All right, let's take a look at number 17. So I have to draw pictures, you guys. I just can't do it without them. So let me go ahead and get my TV on here. So pretend this is my TV. The diagonal of a TV. So let me draw the diagonal. Is 26 inches long. Its length is 14 inches more than the height. So whatever the height is, the length is going to be that much plus 14 more. So I'm noticing that I have a right triangle here. I really want to zoom in on my right triangle here. So whenever I see a right triangle and I have side lengths, the Pythagorean theorem comes to mind. Okay. So let's go ahead and use this to help us find h. So remember, a and b don't really matter. You could call this one a and this one b, or vice versa, because you're adding. Doesn't matter the order you add in. That's why you can call a and b whatever you want, but it does have to be the two legs that make the 90, right? So let's say that I put h squared and then h plus 14 squared. Now c does matter. C always has to be opposite the 90. It has to be what we call the hypotenuse of the triangle. So we're going to go ahead and put 26 here. It's the longest side of the triangle. All right. So let's go ahead and set up the things that are easy to do. Like I'm going to do 26 times 26. So that's going to be 676. Now off to the side, we're going to do h plus 14 times itself. All right, so h times h gets us h squared. H times 14 is 14h. Another 14h. And then 14 times 14 is 196. So when you take your 14h plus your 14h, sorry guys, you're going to get 28h. And there we have it. So that's what we're going to place right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get this into standard form. So we're going to start with our highest exponents. So h squared plus h squared gets us 2h squared. And then I'm just going to go ahead and write it from how it looks, highest exponent to lowest exponent. Now in standard form, you have to have an equal 0 over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract this 676 from both sides. So that way we have the equal 0 that we want. It's going to be negative something, and this is a 0. So 196 minus 676, 196 minus 676 equals, it looks like it's going to be negative 480. Now, I could do the quadratic formula like this, but I'm noticing that all those numbers are even. So I want to try to shrink this down by dividing by 2 to every term. So then that's going to get us h squared here. Half of 28 is 14. And half of 480 is 240. Now we can use the quadratic formula. That's perfectly fine. And if that's your thing you love, go for it. But I like to do factoring when there's no leading coefficient. That's my preference. So I have to look for factors of negative 240 that add up to 14. I'm thinking, well, let's go through a list here. Negative 240. 10 times 24 is looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and put a negative on the 10, and I think we've got it. Because when you multiply those, you get negative 240, but when you add them, you get 14. Okay. So let's go ahead and put those in. So this is going to be h minus 10 and h plus 24. Now, if you're somebody who is like, oh my gosh, Mecklenburg, how did you get that? Like, I'm just really good at my times tables. Let's say you're terrible at your times tables, right? And just do this, 240 divided by 2. And you're gonna make a list, right? And you'll get 120, right? You'll go, that's too far away. There's no way they're gonna add up to 14, right? Okay, let's try 240 divided by 3. Those are still too far away, 3 and 80. And just keep doing that until you get, right, 240 divided by 4. Okay, 4 times 60 is still too far away. And you're going to run into it eventually. And not too far away. 240 divided by 5. 5 and 48 aren't going to add up to 14, no way. How about 240 divided by 6? Of course, this has to be divided by like everything, huh? 6 times 40 is still too far away. Blah, 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 right? 7 doesn't go into 240, so you'll get some decimal. So we get to ignore that one, right? 240 divided by 8 is going to be 8 times 30, right? 240 divided by 9, I don't think so, right? I'm going to go in perfectly. Fraction, decimal. And then finally, we're there, 240 divided by 10. I swear this is still faster probably than the quadratic formula. I know some people don't want to do it, but don't be afraid to use it. If you're really bad at your times tables, this method will still work. You'll still run into it. And then you can see, okay, those have a difference of 14. Yeah. All right. If we set each one of these equal to 0, you're going to get a height of 10 for that one. And if you set this one equal to 0, you're going to get a height of negative 24, which we can't have a height of negative 24 on our television, right? So it looks like the height is going to be 10. I don't even know what we're solving for, you guys. Let me go back and read. Okay, we do need the height. Okay, so the height is going to be 10 inches. See if it wants anything else or if that's it. I think there's more. Yes, there is. So it also says to find the length, right? Well, once you know that h is 10, then you can just take it and substitute it in right here. 10 plus 14, we're going to get 24 for the long side for the length. So let's go put 24 in. Awesome. All right, so hopefully this helps you out with number 17. Thanks for joining me.